Hi everyone, I hope you're doing good. My name is Deepika Narayan Bhardwaj and I'm a journalist and a documentary filmmaker. I've rarely done something like this, but I just couldn't hold myself this time, and I thought I must do this video and review a new film that has come, Section 375. Now, a lot of you may have heard about it, a lot of you may not have heard about it because the film has not been promoted as much as the mainstream Bollywood films are. I don't know the reason for that, but, anyways, I saw it yesterday and I have been completely blown over by the facts and the storytelling and the beauty of this film, touching upon a subject which is rarely discussed, even our mainstream rape or sexual assault, and it deals with the law, the changes that have come after Nirbhaya episode, and how it is being used and misused. Now you'll be very surprised to actually hear that there is a mainstream film which is touching upon misuse of women-centric laws. But yes, this film does, and it does it beautifully. Now I'm going to detail why I love this film and a little more things. Few things that Section 375 nails it beautifully. It is an extremely balanced movie showing both the sides. Now, uh, crime against women is a reality that we encounter, face, feel sorry about, and sad about on a daily basis. The women and girls of this country go through some horrendous incidents, crimes, and experiences, which is why our laws have been made the way they are. And we have all our concerns, sympathies, and our intent for justice to these victims. But at the same time, there is no denial, and I think there should be no hesitation that there are a lot of people who are abusing these laws, taking advantage of these laws in order to settle scores, in order to extort money, in order to take revenge, for vendetta, and for all kind of reasons. Anybody who disagrees with this fact, I think, is not a true believer of equality, and there is nothing else that can explain this notion of some people. So, Section 375 draws this balance beautifully. It explains how women who are real victims of rape do not get justice, the lacunas, the investigative, sort of investigative flaws that the police may have, or the prosecution may have, or because of which there are so many rape victims, genuine rape victims, who do not get justice. But at the same time, the plot of the film is different. Like I said, it tells us how a woman can actually go to an extreme level to extract revenge from a man who has hurt her emotionally. Well, I would not call it physically, because there is some amount of gray shade that has been shown in the film regarding the consent of the person. I know there are a lot of people who are going to be raising questions on what I'm saying, but truth be stated, we make choices in our lives. There are people who make all kind of choices in life. Women also make different kind of choices in life, uh, uh, especially when they're at workplace. Yesterday I tweeted, and I think I'm going to explain that in detail. I say that it was more of an emotional cheating, more of an emotional trauma for this woman who's part of Section 375, who's the main protagonist, because she expects the man who she is having an affair with to marry her, and because he does not marry her, and he becomes really paranoid when she starts becoming very possessive about him, is when this entire plot unravels. I'm not going to disclose too much because I really want you to go and watch this film. Uh, so the balance has been beautifully drawn. The female lawyer who is fighting the case for the woman, Richa Chadha, is very passionate about women's rights, and Akshay Khanna, who defends the man who is accused of rape in this case, bring out various facts which are truth on ground, and details how there are cases, false accusations which are destroying the lives of men. Now, of course, the film actually does not even take a stand. The film lets the audience decide on what they think what happened was right or wrong. There is, of course, a court pronouncement in the end of the film, which makes it even more powerful, I guess, because then the people are left to think what happened. Was that right or was that wrong? Law behold, there is law in the country. The laws have changed. The rape laws have changed to a huge extent after the Nirbhaya episode, and I think it's very important. It's time to have a discussion over those amendments, the way they are being implemented on ground. Um, I personally, as a person who has been doing these exposing cases where men have been falsely accused, their lives have been shattered, is in complete awe of the way the makers of Section 375 have drawn a balance to present both sides of the story. I think when it comes to gender based crimes, we often hear only women centric stories. We only hear of trauma that women go through. We only hear of horrid tales where woman has to bear so much. But I, in my experience, research, the stories that I've brought out, there are so many cases out there where lives of men have been destroyed because of false accusations. While this movie leaves a scope of a lot of thinking and a lot of judgments on the real facts of the case, I have come across cases where there are absolutely false accusations false to the extent that the person had CCTV footage, his call detail records, and every sort of evidence to prove that he was not even there at the place of crime at the time that the crime is supposedly is seemed to have happened. There are cases where there are n number of litigations going between two parties, and then there is a rape case filed. There are cases where women have been caught on camera demanding lakhs of money after filing false case. There are cases where even police is now involved in running extortion rackets like this. So anybody who's in denial of false rape cases, I think, not living in reality, and they need a reality check. And I think Section 375 does a beautiful job of giving us a reality check while not trivializing the crimes that are happening against women. Now, another reason why I really love this film is an outstanding performance by its actors. Both Akshay Khanna and Richa Chadha are amazing in their roles as lawyers. Meera and Rahul Bhatt are amazing in the roles of the protagonists of the film. And I think every person, the judges, the police officers, I think that's beautiful cast. But let me applaud the person who has written this amazing film, Manish Gupta. I've been reading his tweets. He spent 3 years researching this film and bringing this story out in front of all of us. Ajay Behel has directed it amazingly. The back and forth of the facts and these real instances and how the entire plot unfolds. I think it's an amazing thriller, and a must watch. The kind of energy and the emotions that all the people associated with Section 375, I think, including the producers, I think they deserve a well round of applause. And my intention of making this video is really to ask you all to go and watch this film in the theater near you. This is not a promotional video, but it's a genuine request that's coming out of my heart to please go and watch this film, because they're very rarely that Bollywood tells such stories which impact so many lives, and which are non-masala and absolutely non-filmy kind of stories, so true, so close to everyday life. Last but not the least, there are a lot of feminists who are criticizing this film, and I'm actually not surprised because I was expecting this to happen. Some have written absolutely ridiculous reviews of the film, calling it anti women and calling it disgrace and calling it an ignorant film and a myopic view. I just don't understand which kind of world these people are actually living in, because if you pick up newspapers, if you um, go and visit any police station, go and visit any court, you will realize that the courts, that the police stations are increasingly dealing with false accusations of rape and all other gender based crime related laws on a daily basis. Just today, as I make this video, Supreme Court Supreme Court of India has said in a judgment that false cases filed by women on their husbands is condemnable. It's happening day in day out. They're just tired of dealing with cases like this, and it's leading to breakdown of institution of marriage. These are not one-off cases. These are cases that are lying all around us. Have choked our courts, and if only we could actually make some effort to find a solution to this menace rather than denying this problem completely, because it doesn't fit the feminist narrative. I think Section 375 is a good step towards this, because I think it brings out the flaws from both the sides, which can be manipulated and which can be exploited. So I think it's very important that we have a genuine discussion without taking any sides on these issues, because it's about human lives. It's not about men or women. It's about human lives. There are so many reports that are now coming out. There's Rajasthan High Court, I think, ordered an inquiry asking the police officers to submit a report last year asking a detailed analysis of the rape cases filed, and the official report submitted by the Rajasthan police is that the 43% of rape cases were found to be false. There are different kind of statistics available with every police department, and these are coming out now in open. There are statements made by police officially where 75 to 80 to 90 somewhere cases are now cases where the woman says that the man raped her on false promise of marriage. These cases are forming about a quarter of the total rape cases in India as per National Crime Bureau official records. So anybody who thinks that this is, this issue doesn't need attention, I don't think it can always be, it can always be, you know, a cry for justice, or you cannot just look at justice from the spectrum of gender. Um, I think it is important for people to raise voice for somebody who has been wronged, and I in no way feel that raising voice against false cases trivializes the cause of women. I think false cases by women, like in Section 375, Akshay Khanna says that it's every false case is a nail in the coffin of genuine victims' cases. I totally believe that. And I'm not saying this out of my personal opinions. I've been making a documentary. I've been working on a documentary called India's Sons, Tale of False Rape Case Survivors. It's set to be released in 2020, somewhere around March. I'm still working on it. The trailer is out. You can watch it. This is not a plug. But since we are discussing this issue, I had to share this. Um, while making this documentary, and since documentary is not fiction but absolutely reality, we have people saying, retired judges, retired police officers, and serving police officers and lawyers stating on record on a false accusation was made and how it completely destroyed a person's life. So these are not opinions, these are not suggestions, these are documents, these are facts, these are statements by people who are dealing with the law day in day out in the court, and they also have the same opinion that if there are so many false cases that would come, then of course it is going to hamper the cause of genuine victims, because police officers, judges, and everybody who's dealing with these cases are also human beings. And if you see lies being told to you again and again, then you would obviously have a doubt towards the truth, which is not a fair, which is not a conducive situation for women who are genuine victims. They need all our sympathies, they need all our support for justice, and of course, getting justice in India is difficult. So I think I will wind this up in concluding that Section 375 is an amazing story told from both the sides. It's a very balanced film, and people can take home what they want. But I think, as important as it is to tell the stories of women who suffer, I think it is very important to tell stories of men who suffer as well. That's what true gender equality is all about, and that's what our society's aim should be as well. Thank you so much. If you like this review, please do share it, and please do watch trailer of India's Sons. And once again, congratulations to the entire Section 375 team, Panorama Studios, for bringing this film out in front of all of us. Thank you.